Hello everyone, my name is Dren and welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News. We're going to be doing a little reaction video here to something from Asmongold TV called Suicide Squad Game Review Drama. Haven't really watched this, so let's jump into it and see what we've got to say about this.
IGN has made a number of videos that have been negative about the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's a frustrating game to play. There are defenders of the game who are mad. People are now defending the video game. If these people spent more time playing the video game instead of defending it, then maybe it wouldn't need defending. Let's look at Arkham Knight. So
Arkham Knight?
This game came out
Long time ago.
9 years ago. And right now it has the same amount of players as the Suicide Squad. I'm sure in a week, I wonder what's going to happen. And
Suicide
so you have
Squad
a lot
died
of
off
people
quick.
that are mad at IGN for covering this. We didn't get a review code. Let's bash this game until it dies and get ourselves blacklisted. I love how these people think that IGN saying the game sucks is somehow because they didn't get a review code. You know what else it could be because? Maybe because the game sucks. Suicide Squad killed the looter shooter. Uh-oh.
Yeah, look.
Well, that's okay for me. I mean, I'm not a looter shooter fan, but I know many of you are. Which is why we're putting no videos of this stuff. I get it. It's a popular kind of game.
Looking forward to killing the Justice League and all, but, well, you know, these guns are a bit shit.
For me, the disappointment of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League isn't just about its quality. It's about what it's not as much as about what it is. There's very little of what made developer Rocksteady's games so great in the past. Near unparalleled superhero power trips that sit alongside Insomniac's critically acclaimed Spider-Man series.
Yeah, when you're known for something as a company, you take a huge risk in going and doing something you're not known for. Especially when nobody asks you to do it, because you're risking alienating your fans and making them angry. You're not putting out the stuff that they're used to and they want from you in favor of something else entirely. It's a very bad idea, actually. It's a very bad idea for most large companies to do this. I mean, how did Anthem do? Right? How did Starfield do? I mean, and look at Starfield's numbers. Look at Starfield's numbers. Not the numbers right after they launched, but the numbers a couple months later. Terrible. Nobody wants to play the game anymore. There's countless other companies who have done this, who have branched off and said, we're just going to do something completely different because we just want to do something completely different. And the fans have been like, what? No. And it goes against them. Even if they put out a great game, that goes against them automatically because their fans are not happy with the fact that they're not putting out what they expect from that company. You almost need to branch off and make yourself like a subsidiary company and say, yeah, we're gonna have some people over here making this new kind of game that we're really excited about. Meanwhile, the rest of the company is just going to continue to focus on the other stuff. At least then you're telling people we're not wasting, years of your time while we're making something you don't want when the things that you do want we're not bothering to make during that time. You know what I mean? Like you need to do both at least. But this is just bad. It's just bad idea.
It's also the latest in a frustratingly long line of beloved single-player championing studios delving into unwelcoming, loot-infested live service waters.
True too.
I don't think the problem is that they're getting into live service games. I
It's
think
a
the problem
problem.
is that the live service games that they're making are bad. That's the problem. Live service isn't the problem.
Well, I think, though, if you're a company like Rocksteady and you're known for one thing and you're going off and doing something else, doesn't matter how much you market it, you're going to get a bunch of people jumping in there saying, we don't want this from you. You're going to get more negative press than maybe you deserve, but more than you would have got otherwise. You're just another company making the same game, okay? And that doesn't help you right away, because at launch, a bunch of people are going to be like, we didn't ask you to make this game. We're not touching it. Now you compound that by making a game that's not that great. You're in deep, deep waters at this point.
Bad games are the problem.
Never believes things can get this bad until it happens.
It's been a perilous leap for many to take, with success limited to very few not called Bungie. And I hope we're now at the end of this detrimental trend.
Blizzard made a live service game in 2004. It did pretty well for a long time.
That's 2004.
There's a
Different
lot
time,
of examples like Warframe.
Different time.
Warframe's doing pretty well. RuneScape. Let's see.
But right now we're oversaturated with those type of games, which is a problem. You have to draw people from other similar games to your game. And if they're already playing another game and your game isn't superb, they're quickly going to go back to their other game. It's a limited pool of people you're drawing from when everybody's rushing to make the same kind of game. That's a problem. Problem developers refuse to recognize.
He said looter shooter. Oh, so he's only talking about looter shooters?
Very
and not other
short-sighted.
games? Okay, yeah, sure.
That's played so many. In recent years, BioWare abandoned the comfort of its trademark deep RPG writing in favor of Anthem's cold, hollow, RNG-fueled exosuits. It was the
Man, I gotta get some buddies together. We gotta go play Anthem. Or not.
first real notable example of this happening. A studio ripping apart...
I wonder what was the worst payoff. Anthem or buying a Bored Ape NFC? Which group of people lost more money? It's so hard to say. It might be Anthem. I'm pretty sure it's Anthem.
Trends popularized by the likes of Destiny. BioWare veteran James Olin told Rock Paper Shotgun that Anthem was the ultimate expression of that.
Ooh.
It got away from everything. It's kind of like the anti-BioWare game.
Oh, that's a really great thing to tell your audience. Yeah, our game is like the games that you don't like. The new game that we're making, it's not like the games that you liked.
Yeah.
There have since been
He's
others
being honest.
chasing these online looter shooter trends.
Who does this? Like, what idiot thinks this is good messaging?
Rapidly gone out of fashion with each passing year. Arcane
These
brought
are the same kinds of people that think that, like, they're the people that think that they're smart because they say they like Game of Thrones season 8. They're the people that like things that are bad in the hopes that people will think that there's some sort of like sophistication in it.
Oh, there are definitely people who do that. Yes, there are definitely people who will intentionally talk about how much they like something that they know everybody else hates. You know, a way of getting some kind of, I don't know, they get some kind of feeling out of it. I don't even know what feeling that is, but superiority, I don't know. Hoping that one day more people like it and they can say, see, I liked it all along. I knew you were all wrong. Some people do that.
of its best-in-class level design to the empty vampiric streets of Redfall. Crystal Dynamics promised much in its Marvel's Avengers campaign, but lost its way completely regarding its live service offerings. And
Marvel Avengers was a real impressive one. Like, I've never seen somebody suck a dick that big. Actually, that's not true.
I heard it was bad. Never played it.
I've seen some other pretty bad game launch. I was going to make a joke about something that happened recently, but I guess I won't. Anyway,
probably not a good idea.
I think the truth is that
probably not an appropriate place to make sucking a dick jokes. I'm just saying, Asmongold, probably not an appropriate place.
Look, a lot of these kinds of games, it's not about it being a looter shooter, in my opinion. I think it's about being the quality of the game is bad. That's all there is to it. I think it's
both.
That's
I think you're Asmongold's ignoring market oversaturation right now, which is starting to happen. Cracks are showing, and as more and more companies are pouring their efforts into more looter shooters, more live service games, this is what's going to be happening more and more and more. Franchises and titles and games coming out and dying off very, very quickly after hundreds of millions of dollars being put into them. Very, very quickly. It's not good. Not good. Developers need to wise up. So do investors.
Is more than anything else.
Recently, Rocksteady traded in their expertly designed Gotham for a shallow metropolis.
Yep.
Suicide Squad's main problem isn't in its art direction, character design, or storytelling, although mileage may vary on that last one. These are all things we've come to expect and enjoy from Rocksteady, masters of their craft when it comes to creating superhero open worlds. But while it has largely delivered on that trio of creative disciplines, the studio's other notable strengths, best-in-class campaign design, genre-leading combat systems, and engaging open worlds are the areas in which Suicide Squad has stumbled. And that faltering is rooted in the pivot to creating a long-time content delivery machine, aka a live service shooter. In the 9 years it has taken
I just feel like this game looks like fucking garbage.
It looks like it cheaped out on a lot.
It looks like it came out in 2015. It's like Apex Legends looks better than this, and it's free.
London-based studio to finish work on Kill the Justice League, numerous examples of exactly the same kind of pivot project failing have come and gone. Yet,
I believe when you put out a game like this, you're relying on new gamers and people who are young, who have not played enough games to know that this looks like shit, who don't have enough to compare it to. Can't look at it and be like, wow, that looks like a game for 2015 because, maybe they weren't even alive in 2015. Okay, maybe they're not quite that young, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like 15 years old, 14 years old. They don't know what games from 2015 were like. They don't even know enough about games from 2024 to be able to compare them, to be able to say this one doesn't look as good, or this is a low quality game, or you're getting kind of ripped off with this, with the graphics. They don't know. I think that's what they're relying on. And there's not enough of those people, not enough of that income. It's enough for these people to come out and complain about IGN complaining about the game, but there's not enough of them to actually make a difference in the numbers for the game.
no change of direction has seemingly been plotted. That's likely because of the weight of the AAA machine. Like a heavy cruise liner, it can be difficult to change the course of all those resources and staff when the journey begins. But the result of that is a wholly incongruous mess of a looter shooter where bland gunplay makes neither canonical sense.
Like, am I the only person? Like, watch this
stuff on
gameplay.
screen.
Do you even know what the fuck is going on?
Wholly incongruous mess of a looter shooter where bland gunplay makes neither canonical sense nor
explosions and bright lights everywhere.
Oh, this'll make my boomerangs jealous. Sorry, ladies.
Gear progression and how it intertwines with talent trees and class abilities is
Wait a minute. Are you running around as Captain Boomerang with guns? Oh, see, I didn't even think about this. And you're running around as Harley Quinn with guns? You're running around as Killer Shark with guns? These characters don't use guns. Harley Quinn uses a bat and some joke stuff. Captain Boomerang uses boomerangs. Killer Shark uses his fists and his jaws. I seriously didn't even think about that till now. These characters do not use guns. And it's a looter shooter. You're running around with guns the entire game as these characters. That makes no sense. At least Deadshot has guns, although he has like wrist blasters. I'm not sure why he would use actual guns, because he's got his own that are better. That right off the bat is a bad idea. It's just a bad idea. Oh.
Delicate balance that is by no means easy to achieve. The Borderlands series has historically done it very well, and while the Pandora Gunfests do have significant stories told throughout, you always get the feeling that developer Gearbox's focus is on making the most outrageous and fun arsenal to play with as possible. But Borderlands games are, of course, not live service. Tackling that added demand of a long life of ever-expanding content adds a whole new weight on top of all that to balance. A more pertinent example then.
Yeah, I looked at some of the weapons with Suicide Squad whenever I watched gameplay, and there wasn't a single weapon that, like, for example, whenever I watched Diablo 4 and I saw somebody using Chain Lightning, I was like, oh yeah. Whenever I watched, like, somebody do, like, a whirlwind build, like I saw Rob do that whirlwind build, I was like, yes, dude, right? And that's even with Diablo 4. Like, there was nothing with Suicide Squad that ever made me feel like, oh, that looks really cool. I love the power fantasy of that. I want to play it.
might be Diablo, which has achieved this as successfully as anyone over the years thanks to Blizzard, a studio whose very DNA is built around online multiplayer experiences. For almost 30 years, the developers refined a gameplay loop completely centered on chasing that next piece of loot. That desire to want to come back repeatedly and grind for the next piece of gear is key to the success of a loot-based game, and is what I look for over all else in the genre. Strike gold with that, and even games that possess just a sliver.
I mean, I think that
I played
Diablo
Outriders.
4 is I just think it's kind of boring, right? It's kind of a boring game.
So, you know what? We're not going to cover the next 13 and a half minutes of Asmongold's video. It'll be linked down below if you want to watch the entire thing. And if you're interested in this subject, I do encourage you to do so. We're just taking a quick look at this and trying to get a conversation started. So again, as always, I read all your comments and I respond to as many as I can. So I'm curious as to what you think about Suicide Squad. Do you think there's something wrong with people like IGN doing a lot of videos calling this game out? Do you think that they are doing it mainly because they didn't get a review code? Do you think the people who are attacking IGN for attacking the game are correct or incorrect? What do you think this game is? Like, do you think it's a good game, a mid game, a bad game? And why? How do you think it compares to other looter shooters? You know, how do you feel about Rocksteady going this direction and branching off from what they've been doing? Is it a good thing to do? Is it not? Tell me your thoughts on all of this, because I would look forward to hearing from you. I love starting conversations, learning what other people think about things. This is why this channel exists. So yeah, drop down below and give us a like. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It would be really awesome, and I would really appreciate it. So, what else can I tell you? Not much. My name is Dread. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News. Thank you all so much for your time. We're out of here. Good night.